There he is, the seemingly abandoned warehouse on the west side of town.
Blake Olson.
Blake Olson, news and comment.
Hey, brother.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Great show.
Yeah,
Love waking up to this.
Just a couple different things. A lot of people, they said you forgot Wonder Woman.
Oh, absolutely.
See?
Oh, man. Linda Carter.
Linda Carter.
Linda Carter. And my wife's uncle was the super in her building in Manhattan.
Whoa.
And knew her. And it said she was unbelievable. I mean, obviously a great person. I'm going to throw a couple at you, okay?
All right, sure.
Because Jimmy threw some good ones at you. I'm going to keep it local here. Foxy Brown of the 1970s, Pam Grier.
Well, Pam Grier lived here, didn't she?
Denver East High School.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
she was.
All right.
Yeah, she. And then another one. Now, you may not have watched this show. I don't know. Okay. You're too smart to watch all these sitcoms. But does the name Bernadette Stanis come to mind by chance?
No.
Thelma on Good Times. Remember John Amos?
Sure. Well, I remember that show. I actually did a radio show with John Amos.
Oh, man, he was an incredible athlete, man.
Was he
talented? Really? Oh, he played football at CSU. Passed away, I think, in the last year.
Yeah, we lost him.
Yeah, I mean, that show, man.
He was on Good Times.
Yes. Yeah. And my generation, a lot of the guys I went to college with at Troy, Alabama, we had talk about Thelma from Good Times. Everybody, oh my God! She was the one.
Wasn't Michael Jackson's sister on that show?
Yeah, she was.
Yeah.
Yes, Janet Jackson was on that show. That's right. Yeah. I forgot about that. Absolutely.
John Amos, we did a radio show. We talked a lot about television, because remember, he was the weatherman. Yeah. He was the weatherman.
Oh, yeah.
On Mary Tyler
Moore. Yeah.
And
exactly.
There's one, Mary Tyler Moore. I thought Mary Tyler Moore was strong.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt.
And
I
also,
forgot about that one.
And we're talking, we've lost in this Reiner murders, but remember he played the meathead. He played Michael Stivic. He married Archie's daughter.
Yeah, what was Sally Struthers?
No, that wasn't Sally Struthers.
That wasn't Sally Struthers?
Oh, no, okay. Sally Struthers was, maybe you're right.
I thought on All in the Family that was Sally Struthers.
You're probably right.
Kind of not in my actually I remember her very
meathead, remember?
Yes,
called him meathead.
God, that show was so good. The writing in that show,
the best,
and the acting, and Jean Stapleton was incredible. People don't give her enough credit for that.
Played the dingbat.
Yes. Yeah. So good, man. They played off of each other.
I played, gee. I always did it. Oh, jeez. Yeah, I did that, remember?
Right.
The best one. Do you remember when Stretch Cunningham died? And Archie Stretch was Jewish, but he never knew it.
Yes.
There's great ones.
They hit every subject, man.
They weren't afraid.
It was so good. I remember there's one of those episodes was a Christmas episode where Archie didn't get his bonus, and he was ashamed to say why he didn't get the bonus. And
remember Sammy Davis Jr. came and saw him, and he gave Archie a kiss on the cheek.
Yeah, and Archie's like, what are you doing?
He almost did that. He actually sounded like my dad, like, geez.
Yeah. A lot of dads.
Oh.
Hey, this is my son. What are you doing?
And he called, and you are a meathead.
Yes. How many fathers look at their son-in-laws as meatheads?
And you
fill the phone banks.
And he did that. And you married a meathead. Right. And then it turned out that Archie's father called him a meathead.
Yeah, that's right.
But
That's right.
everybody got called a meathead. No,
Exactly.
it's really good stuff. So
that's
your
awesome.
ultimate, and because this turns out, and Bridget Bardot died, and she was 91, and she was way past that. But she was she was the sex symbol for me in 54, 55.
Yeah.
And that's when, the light gets turned on. You go, wait a minute. And I've always said this, like this idea that being gay is a choice, you hear that crap all the time. Well, I want to know when my choice was, because, it was like, I didn't think, well, geez. Real quick, name of the first girl you kissed.
We've done this before.
I know.
Her name was June.
Yeah.
And,
See, there it is.
She was incredible.
Did you have a
person?
Did you have a choice?
No, I didn't
neither.
have a choice. Of course.
You have the news? You have the
All
news?
right, here we go.
All right, here we go.
I got the news. All right. Good morning. 16 and clear in Denver. Expecting a high of 43 today. News sponsored by Pastor Camp Heating and Air Conditioning. Give them a call at 303-777-1234 to learn more about special savings opportunities on Lennox equipment. Our top story, a person of interest in an Aurora homicide investigation has been found dead in Denver. Police say the unidentified 17-year-old died last week from a traumatic self-inflicted injury. Investigators were looking into the teen's connection to the December 21st shooting in the 3400 block of South Jabel Court. If you remember that one, a 16-year-old boy died in that shooting. Police say there are currently no other outstanding suspects in the investigation. DJT continues to play host to world leaders at his Mar-a-Lago resort.
The topic for both big meetings is peace. On Sunday, President Trump hosted Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. Both leaders sounded optimistic after their weekend talks, but acknowledged there are some sticking points to resolve the Russian invasion. Today, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu visits Mar-a-Lago, where President Trump is expected to press the Israeli leader to get to phase 2 of the ceasefire plan in Gaza. I'm Rory O'Neill.
Yeah, how's about we just cut off all the funding to all these countries, from Ukraine to Israel? Just cut it all off. Americans are tired of this. Teams from the FAA and NTSB are in New Jersey today investigating a mid-air collision between two helicopters. One pilot is dead and another is in critical condition. Officials say they were the only ones on board each helicopter. A shooter is on the loose after an early Sunday morning shooting in downtown Fort Lauderdale that sent 5 people to the hospital. Police say they believe the shooting was an isolated incident and that there is no threat to the public. Police are investigating a deadly crash in Brighton. The crash happened around 12:30 on Sunday afternoon, or actually Sunday morning, the intersection of US 85 and Weld County Road 2.5. Investigators say a Ford SUV ran a stop sign at the intersection and was hit by another SUV. 2 people in the Ford were ejected from the vehicle, and one of them was pronounced dead at the scene. Police believe the person who died was hit by another vehicle that did not stop. After the crash, the 20-year-old driver of the Ford was arrested on multiple charges, including suspicion of vehicular homicide and DUI. Kings at the Avs tonight, and the Nuggets at the Heat in South Florida. Quinn Decker, UNC Bears in Boulder on Sunday. First time since 1936 the Bears beat the Buffs. Danker had 33 points, 8 assists, 8 rebounds, 86-81 final. UNC Bears over the CU Buffs. First time since 1936 in college hoops. It is 15 in Thornton and 14 in Lone Tree and 16 in Denver. You're waking up with Jeff and Bill and Pete the Legend in for the fellas. Blake Olson, News Talk 710 KNUS.
Your 710 KNUS forecast this early Monday. Clear skies, temperatures right around 15 as you start the day. For the rest of your Monday, mostly sunny this afternoon, highs around 40. Mostly clear tonight, lows in the lower 20s. And for Tuesday, sunshine, highs near 50. Weather brought to you by L&L Heating and Air Conditioning. For quick, trustworthy, and dependable service, call L&L Heating and Air Conditioning at 720-851-1691. Visit them online at bestdenverhvac.com. That's bestdenverhvac.com. You'll be comfortable with L&L. I'm day weather meteorologist Patrice Sutter in the 710 KNUS Weather Center.
Monday, 29 December 2025. And you just heard the weather. Let me read the wall real quick. Jane Mansfield. It's like, don't forget Jane Mansfield, I would not. Grumpier old men lady. That was Sophia Loren. Another bombshell, Sophia Loren. Ginger was hot, but Mary Ann. The only reason Dolly broke away, she wanted to show that she could stand alone. Well, yeah, I mean, let me see. Wow, up here. They're doing South Park. Eric, I'd say that's the latest. Well, South Park is the best rendition now of All in the Family. All right, so we got two things going. Number one is the term that's been given, the de-churching of America. People are no longer going to church. Jim, I wanted to, you and I talked during the break, and without naming the church, tell the audience what you said to me.
Well, yeah, I am a Christian. I believe Jesus died for our sins. I have always believed that. And I was going to a church that was just, like, hypocritical. It wasn't... I lived in a trailer at the time. I didn't live in Superior or Boulder. So I felt like I was kind of looked down on. So I just stopped going to church. I just haven't found a new church that I enjoy, or I just had to stop.
And again, you may be absolutely part of the variables. The study doesn't give variables, it just gives numbers. And numbers are things that really don't lie. And no, I mean, I loved what you said, and I asked you to come on the air, and I appreciate that. Thanks,
yes,
Bubba. Thank
yes,
you.
Sir.
All right, we'll go to the phones. Here we go. Oh, and Tulsa, Oklahoma. Take me back to Tulsa. Mark, you're on the radio show.
There you go.
Yeah, hey, good morning, brother, man. Thanks.
Long time listener, Peter. Been around, for, 21 years with you or whatever, various states. But here we go, yeah.
All right.
So, first of all, the country we all know is built on Mrs. Paul's fish sticks.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So, as far as the other ones you're missing here, Suzanne Summers, and then you had Lacey Underall in Caddyshack was probably a lot of the guys out there. When they put a microphone in front of her face, she said, I was probably a lot of the guys first.
Cool. Probably. Yeah, that's a good one. Yes.
So the church I wanted to talk to, but go ahead. You want to make a comment there?
One guy just sent us just the latest text. Kathy Ireland. There's a name. Bombshell. Another bombshell.
Yeah.
Anyway, go ahead if you would, please.
So on the church topic, I appreciate Jim's candor. I'm kind of like Jim. It's not the trailer park so much, but so I listened to 3 of your 4 hours yesterday on a Saturday. And didn't call in. I just wanted to take it in because I heard if you listen to the call-ins, the frustration of people is they want to believe, they want to go, and there's a whisper that says they're frustrated. Here is what I took away from 3 of those hours, and listening to all of them. A common theme there. You just got to listen and hear it. And what my experience is, when I go, if you go, let's take the analogies here, 2 of them. You go to the gym, you want a good trainer that makes your muscles strong, right? If you go to a weak trainer, you're not going to get strong. If you go to have a good meal at a restaurant, you want a good meal that makes you healthy and builds you up and so forth. And what I have seen across 5 states, probably 50 churches across denominations here, is we have lost good preaching. The role, as John MacArthur says, as a preacher is not to pet the sheep, it's to protect them. And you see a lot of petting going on. And, if you look at, here's a one-liner for you as well. If you look at soft preaching makes for hard hearts. File save that.
Yeah.
Hard preaching makes for soft hearts. If you look at America at large, you see that the softening is a form of families, crime.
Whatever, if I may, whatever the variables are in the model, whatever the reasons, the pews in this country are emptying out. And
agreed.
And it began in the 90s. Again, I read more stuff about this again last night, show prepping, but my sense of it, and like I said, just as a reader, is that there's a new map emerging of what this looks like, and the old religious map is disappearing.
Yeah, I agree.
There's this secular, and I'm looking at the map of the country, the secular, decentralized, deeply fragmented, and you can see it, and it's only now beginning to take shape.
As far as the online, there is some math there when you look at about 20 to 30% of the people that quit going to regular church attendance. Stick with me on this topic here for a sec, because it continues to go this way and fills in some gaps. So about 20 to 30% who quit regularly attending in your numbers end up watching online. Of that, the drop-off on giving dramatically drops off, because now they can pick whatever church and flavor they'd like to see on a Sunday.
Yeah, but
so that drops off, which might explain why your churches are struggling to stay financially viable.
And all the explanations. Listen, I mean, this is again from the study. 15,000 churches.
Yeah,
I'll read it to you. An unprecedented 15,000 churches expected to shut their doors this year. Far more than the few thousand expected to open. These are, denominational reports. These are church consultants, and the church. I'll read this part. Before the pandemic, a church should expect to lose about 15% of its members year over year, a rate of 1.2 million leaving churches annually nationally. But I mean, the study is spot on, but it doesn't explain the variables in the why. And I love Jim's. Do you attend? Do you attend church?
I have fallen off quite a bit, and it's because I subscribe to a worldview that includes God. I do.
All right.
So I'm like many of your callers, and so what I have discussions with, and a common problem out here is people are wanting to go, but when they go, it's self-esteem teaching, which gets back to 1990s.
Yeah.
I'd like to think I'm pretty good, but when I put that X-ray machine, if you believe in God's word, and they do, against it, when it shines on the wall there, I'm a lot worse than I think I am. And I like who I am. I like my family. I love God. I love my country. And I love other people. But what I'm saying is the message, because it's been dumbed down, people go, and what they really want to hear is how they missed the mark, and the message of grace is the only thing that covers that. And I think there's a hunger. It's just people are not going to get a good meal, and they're not been getting one, so therefore they don't go, Peter.
I always loved the line out of Stephen King's The Shining when he said, when will it shine? And the response was, it'll shine when it shines. I thought, that's great call. And thanks, Mark. It was really well put together. Thank you. How do we stand here, pal? We're in good shape? 710 KNUS Denver's talk station. Let's go to Tony in Littleton. We have a line open. Tony, thanks for coming on the show.
Hey, good morning.
Morning, brother.
So I am not a person of faith myself, but I'm curious about why the drop in the attendance. My theory is the church, I think, is experiencing a fracture. And anecdotally, first, I heard a story read in I think it was Times months ago about a pastor in the South, and I don't know what the denomination of the church was, and he finished the service that morning, and he was standing at the door saying goodbye to the congregation, and one of the gals in the congregation came up to him and said, why are you preaching all this liberal stuff? And he said, I'm preaching the teachings of Christ. And her response was, well, that's not good enough anymore.
Yeah,
that's not good enough anymore.
Yeah.
And so you've got this wing of the evangelical Christian wing, and then you've got churches that are just very focused on the teachings of Christ, and those are not one and the same.
Well, but again,
And,
let me pause. Let me pause you again. The statistical variances, the studies, there you have a universe that that universe is included with evangelical. Get on a list of different things, Roman Catholic. So the universe is the same. There's a great line in terms of what you were saying, that if you read Texas history, there was Ma and Pa Ferguson took turns, and Ma said, this is a great line, because they were fighting even then about what would be the languages in Texas schools, and Ma is alleged to have said, if English was good enough for Jesus Christ, it's good enough for the school children of Texas. And you can use, seems to me that you can use Jesus to do all kinds of different things with, but I'm sure you're right. I mean, I'm sure it plays out in this, but these numbers aren't lying.
Yeah. Now, so the anecdotal story was the pastor, but now a personal experience is that we have a church in this state, and I'm not going to name the church. My daughter and her husband and her kids are members of this church, and this church has got a half a dozen different churches around the city, and every Sunday they've got thousands of people that are attending the church, and it's growing.
It's a mega.
And they do mission. My daughter and her family, they do missionary work in Central America on their vacations, and she teaches Sunday school, and the church is growing, and is healthy financially. It is just becoming a giant in this city. Well, I've gone to maybe half a dozen sermons, Sundays, and I've even went with my son-in-law to his men's group, and that church is so focused on the teachings of Christ. It just the messages of Christ.
But remember the interesting thing about, if I may again, the teachings and. The teachings were used to suppress slaves, and they were used to liberate slaves. Teachings were this. It's interpretive. It's a social science. It's not a hard science. It's a social science, and you can use it. The civil rights movement in this country came out of the churches, particularly the black churches in the South. In New England, the abolitionists came out of the churches. But people used the Klan used the church too as a weapon.
Well, right, and that's Peter. That's my point. Yeah. So, while the churches were the impetus and the energy behind the civil rights, then later when especially about the time Reagan took office, you had another side of the church that was fighting the desegregation and fighting the civil rights, and so you've got these two wings of the that are now
more than
opposing one another.
I would say there's probably five wings.
I'm just saying that you've got one side that is like very, very, very pro-Trump and the evangelical, and the other side considers that complete hypocrisy.
All right, let me ask you, as we come to the break, the church of your daughter and her husband, pro-Trump or the other way around?
They're anti-Trump, but the interesting thing is, in the 5-6 times I went, not once do they mention him by name, but their teachings, it would be hypocritical to put him on a pedestal based on the teachings of Christ, from their pastor. So you'll never hear the pastor say a single word about any political figure, but the message is clear. They do not ascribe to that person and that character, and that would be
No, I
critical
listen.
to the teachings of the church.
But I can
and so I just see there's two sides of opposing one another, and one might be growing, one may not be growing. I'm not, So anyway, it's just a thought.
Hey, listen, Jack Kennedy got sold when I was a kid in church. He fit the mold. He was the man. He was ours. So we heard about Jack. So it can be weaponized. That's what's the beauty of it. It's pragmatic. It's incredibly pragmatic. It's magic. But your point is so well taken. That's really another back-to-back great call. Well thought out.
Thanks.
Thank you,
for the
Tony.
time.
You too, brother. Thank you. We have a line open. It's a Monday. I'm Peter Boyles in for the fellas. A bunch of different topics are flying. One is, and I'll read them when we come back from the pause, sex symbols. And the other one is what we're talking about. They call it the great de-churching or unchurching of America. 710 KNUS. I'm Peter Boyles in for the fellas, and I'll have it all week. We'll have a New Year's Eve show and the day after New Year's Day. 43 the high today, and 48 tomorrow, and 58 on Wednesday. Lines are jammed. I want to read the wall real quick. Islam may be the fastest growing religion. The next one, Jesus saves, but Manhattan Jesus saves faster. All right, don't know what they mean. Jan Smithers, the young woman on WKRP. I actually met the actress. She was great. I thought she was more sexy and should have been Johnny Fever. But again, Johnny Fever, Mike McEwen, Johnny Fever. Let me see. Too many cliques and hierarchy in the realm of congregations. Again, I'm reading them to you. And Margaret, pardon me. Yeah, you're right. Julie Newmar as Catwoman. Has anyone said Pamela Anderson? Yes, they have. Kathy Ireland, we've been through this before. So we're doing the death of Bridget Bardot triggers sex symbols. Who was yours? And the other one that's, again, studies that I've now, a couple of them that I put together on, the term that they use is the unchurching of America, that people are simply not going to church in spite of what people say. Where do we begin here? Line 3. All right, so we go to Jay in Wheat Ridge. Hey, Jay, you're on the show, man. Good morning. Thanks.
Good morning, Peter. Good
Brother,
to hear you.
thank you.
Hey, real quick on the religion thing, not what I call, but most of the people I know feel that there's about 1% God in the church and 99% money. So
Okay.
that's kind of become what I think is going on.
Maybe.
But anyway, sex symbols from way back when.
Yes.
My dad used to just be in love with Lucille Ball. If you look at early pictures of her,
Did you ever? Thank you. Did you ever see the early pictures of her? She was strong.
She was drop dead gorgeous.
Yeah, she was, and she was tough too.
I would say kind of a fallen angel, but in her day, Jane Fonda was a real cutie.
Early on, well, as she's like an old woman, she's a beautiful old woman.
Yeah. She really got herself sideways with most of the country, but she sure was pretty.
Sure, indeed. Who was yours? Who was yours?
Oh, Jacqueline Smith early.
Forgot
Angels.
Forgot all about her as well.
Burnett, yeah, she was sure hot in Charlie's Angels. I liked her better than Farrah quite a bit.
Now you're doing TV. That's interesting because Jimmy did TV and John did TV and the other guys are doing TV. Mine, I tell you what, I mean, when it was announced that Bardot had died, and this triggered the topic in me because I was thinking about it. Now I'm an old man, but and I had to go look at the date, 1954, they imported a film into America entitled "And God Created Woman," and they bought. There wasn't trailers on TV that they were selling films. They bought ads in the Pittsburgh papers, and there was this really hot picture. Now I'm a kid, and that was the first time you go, now wait a minute. You remember the now wait a minute moment in your life?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there it is. And so,
Pete, do you remember who it was in Planet of the Apes? Was that?
Ooh,
I
man.
can't think.
Ooh,
Boy, she was unbelievable, but I don't remember who it was.
Played the wild woman that the apes were catching. Yeah. Oh, you're right. And then she ended up with Charlton Heston.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Holy mackerel.
Whew.
So.
Yeah, that's a good one. See?
And
that's
what's thinking.
Well, that's what I'm saying. When people said you had a choice day, not me.
Yeah, not me.
They have to sell that too. I've written about it and we've talked about it. When was my choice day? If this gay guy has a choice day, what would I get robbed?
Yeah, which way? Why would you choose to get beat up?
I said it too. Why would you choose to have guys lump on you when you're like going to school? But I never had it. Where was my choice day? Plus, you double your chances for a date on Friday night.
Well, that's true.
But, I mean, come on. But I didn't get a choice day. I love you, man. Great call. Thank you. All right, we go up here. in Lakewood. This is Greg. There is one line open, 303-696-1971. Made it to a Monday. Brother, you're on the show.
Peter, the great one-eyed king.
My man.
I think Jane Mansfield was the first woman I saw without her shirt on, that I remember.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But, you know, every Sunday night, this tall, sultry, dark-haired woman with a short, nerdy boyfriend was on Sunday nights. Cher.
Sonny, yeah. You know,
Yeah, he gave hope, you know.
Yeah, I interviewed Sonny Bono when he was a congressman. For real. And it was a phone interview. But you're right about Cher.
She was hot. She was and strong.
Her and Greg Allman. That must have been a team.
That's right. And, you know, I think she's still alive. And last time
absolutely.
I saw her,
Absolutely.
she's still pretty hot.
Oh, she's, yes. Yes, indeed. And, no, she was, and she always did a couple of tunes, and when they had the Sonny and Cher show that was apparently did really well in the ratings, but she would do like Gypsies, Tramps, and Thieves. Remember all that stuff? And
yeah, she had a and Sonny.
Oh, she wrecked Sonny's life, man, or Sonny wrecked hers. I wasn't sure, but when she ended up with Greg Allman, Faye had a story about Greg Allman on heroin and Sonny and not Sonny, but Cher, and Cher's walking him around trying to bring him back, and I'm a big Allman Brothers fan. I loved the Allman Brothers, but
when you asked about a hottie local, you know, she's not a Denver person, but I asked Santa Claus for a Lauren Boebert.
You know, Lauren Boebert's hot.
Yeah, she is.
She is.
Pistol packing, oh yeah, and that red lipstick.
And
wow.
she hanging out with Kid Rock.
And that's getting busted at the DCP
And lying about it.
Yeah.
That's my kind of woman. You know, like carrying heaters and hanging out.
She should do a poster. She should do a burlesque poster with the pistols, man. That would be hot.
I know, but carrying the heat, man. She's you're not gonna cross her, man. She'll smoke you, but
I hear you.
But yeah.
I grew up in the Episcopal Church,
right.
and you know, which is Catholic light, basically.
Sure.
It's all the ritual with 1/3 the guilt.
It's Henry's church. Yeah.
That's right. That's right. And I, like you, I was an altar boy, and we did bells and smells, and eventually it just became that's where you went and trolled for babes. You know, and you got to.
We need her on here.
Right. But I actually got excommunicated 3 times.
No.
Yeah, and one of them was by the bishop that was posing with the Ramseys out in front of the Episcopal Church up there in Boulder.
Well, no, that was his name was Roll Hoverstock was his name.
Right.
He was one of the very many mouthpieces for the Ramseys.
That's right.
Yep.
And he was the first one to excommunicate me, and it was because I was part of the church leadership later on. And I stood up against blessing same-sex marriages. I said, no, and I wasn't because I was anti-homosexual. It's because I said, you can't stand up at the pulpit and say, it's okay to cheat on your wife. It's okay to on your income taxes. It's okay to speed in the school zone. You know, you can't do it.
But that's the point of religion is pragmatic. It's if you know the history of Christianity moving through Europe, that's just what we went through was Christmas, and Christmas is a pagan holiday and adapted by the Christians.
Well, so is Easter.
Well, the terms itself, Easter, the term itself is a pagan is a holiday, but that's.
But the other 2 times I got excommunicated was over stewardship. You know, pledging.
There are 2 times.
You know, where they say, and it's about this time of year, right after what they call Advent. You remember that?
Sure.
They start the stewardship campaign, and they'll sit up there and say, well, you got to pledge. You got to tell us how much you're going to give us this year. And they would beat up these little old ladies that were living on their husband's pensions, saying they're not giving enough, you know. And they said, well, you know, and they said it's about outreach. It's about outreach.
But once it's established that you can buy your way in, and that's how all those television evangelists work. The bakers and the rest of them was send me money. And
Right.
you know, I don't think the dear and gentle carpenter was walking around running that scam. I just don't. But
No, he's a homeless guy, you know?
no,
He really.
yeah, and I think that's a knockdown too. I mean, I listened to people preach that or say that Jesus would. No, Jesus had a home. He was living with his family. He
I mean, he would, you know, he was moving around all the time.
after a certain point in his life that we don't know much about. But yes.
Well, I grew up in a part of town too that you could throw a rock in any direction and hit a church.
Sure.
And you know, and now all you see is 2 or 3 little cars with blue-haired ladies coming out.
And that's one of the numbers. And let me gotta find it here. How many churches are closing? And in this year, again, predictions, church closures, 13,000, I think I read. I got to find a bunch of 15,000.
Here, I drive by the big mega church that used to be a shopping center, and the parking lot is full.
Well,
Saturday and Sunday, it's packed.
There it is.
But, you know, and those mostly and they go in there, and there's rock music and rocking, and it's a pretty good show, actually.
What?
And you don't have to walk into a church with a bunch of people with name tags on, and then they hand you one that says visitor.
Hmm.
You know? That's a good call, right?
It's what's working. Thank you, man. Great call. I'm going to read a couple things here quick. Let's see. I'll save that one. This one. Nancy Sinatra. I got my dad to buy me one of those. This is from a woman. Those vinyl boots and practiced in front of the mirror. My own version of a 10-year-old sex pot until my dad saw me, and it was no more. I also had next one. I also had posters. I don't know who this is. Christy Brinkley, who's going to be she's going to be 80. How many mosques are opening versus churches closing? That's a good question. Cher put out a Christmas album in 2013, Done Her Way. DJ play a Christmas song fashioned after her late 1990s belief. All right. Any woman giving birth on the side of I-70 is hot. This guy's a very twisted agent sending stuff to us. All right. 303-696-1971. If you're trying to call the show, you can get right on. We're talking about 2 different things on sex symbols, obviously, but the great unchurching of America. And why? Do you go to church? If so, if you did and quit, why? 303-696-1971. I'm Peter Boyles in for the fellows. This is 710 KNUS. And good morning, everyone. Peter Boyle's in for the fellows. It's a Monday, the 29th of December, 2025, and the weather was cold this morning. 43 the high today, 48 tomorrow, and 58 on Wednesday. So I'll work today, tomorrow, the next day. Then we're off to New Year's. Come back the next day, work Friday and Saturday. It's like being on the job again. Sex symbols, and here's a bunch of them again. And then this series of studies that you can tie together on what is dubbed, not by me, but by the people who are doing the studies, as the Great Unchurching of America. And the United States is undergoing its fastest religious shift in modern history. The rapid decrease in people attending services, and that could be shuls, temples, tabernacles, you get on the line. And again, it is, and what do you think is happening and why? The one variable which I thought was interesting is inside the Republican Party, or within the Republican Party, which is the largest group of white Christians. 68% are in the Republican Party. And then also talking about sex symbols and what that's about. Let me read a bunch of stuff, and then we'll go to the phones. Pete, I think going to church has been supplemented by worshiping at the altar of social media of the smartphone. Oof. This one is, the one in the Planet of the Apes was Ursula Andress. She was married to John Derrick. Don't you imagine evangelical churches as institutions felt a little like Stormy Daniels did when she came out of the bathroom to see Trump lying on the bed in his tighty-whities? The sudden realization of what's expected and how debased it is, maybe it's part of the de-churching. 303-696-1971. We have a line open. This is Ralph in the Springs. You're on the show. Good morning. Ralph.
Yeah, Peter. Yeah, good. I'm off speaker. Yeah, I think the question, maybe the rejection of churches.
Either way.
Is a rejection of organization and bureaucracy. And I think maybe we should be thinking about the Bible as two separate books for two separate religions. Now that seems very simple. But the answer is you end up with two commandments in the New Testament out of Jesus, and you all end up with 10 from the Mount Sinai.
Yeah, but give me the explanations. Why? Do you go to church?
Off and on.
Okay. One was off and one was on. What does...
No, it was years ago for the simple reason that what church has turned into, as far as I'm concerned, is turned back toward Jehovah as a God of war, which is in the Bible, and away from Jesus as a prophet of peace.
But it can be used. I mean, that's the interesting thing. It's
of course it can.
And that's my point. You can take the Second World War, where churches, and then you can take the Southeast Asian War, and churches are something else. And no, I mean, I understand what you're saying, but what does all of this say to make the explanation, or trying to explain what this is really all about?
Well, I'll put it this way. Do you need a church in order to be Christian?
Well, that's what Jimmy's saying.
Right, and that's what I quite agree with. And once you have that, then the question becomes, okay, let's do away with the organization and the Balderall.
I think you're right.
And what happens is, unfortunately, I think our grandkids are smarter than we were. But fundamentally...
That goes without saying.
I know.
Yeah.
Program your VCR for me, will you?
Would you please? No, my grandson's way smart.
Yeah, but I mean, the thing about it is you take a look back, and again, I'm Vietnam generation, so are you. But you take a look back and you have okay, the decade of love or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But fundamentally, as one of your callers just pointed out, Jesus was wandering around in Palestine, but with no organization as far as I could tell. He had Judas as a treasurer. Well, okay, cool. But there was no organization, no hierarchy.
Yeah, but that's the early on.
He was a teacher.
Well, but come back full circle. Come back. In the 60s in this country, arrives the Krishnas, the Moonies. Who else showed up? The Maharishi, the Age of Aquarius. And I think it ran parallel with the total rejection of, you got Southeast Asia, you got Watergate, you got Nixon, you got all these different things. And people, and I have this theory, and I think it's provable, that when Gerald Ford said no, when Gerald Ford said, I'm not going to renew the bombing, the war is over, when Richard Nixon resigns, everything changes. I was working in radio as a traffic reporter, writer. I got a job working in discotheques, and I doing all these things at one. But the styles change, the clothes change, the music changes, the whole anti-establishment. It becomes disco. The drugs change. LSD goes out the window. People bring in cocaine. I mean, I saw it all. I witnessed it, and all of a sudden, it's a different boogie. And what happens? Jimmy Carter becomes president. That's what I watched. But in the middle of all of that stuff, and when's the last time you saw Krishnas dancing around in the street, Ralph?
God knows.
All right, when's the last time the Moonies tried to sell you flowers?
Sure, but I mean, when's the last time you saw, Jimmy and Tammy Faye on TV?
Well, they went to prison. He went to prison.
That's my point.
But he's back on. He's on running a scam. You can get him. You can see him. He's running a bigger scam than he ran before. But I think she's passed away, and he went to the joint. So, But
think about it this way, Peter. What you've got is the church decided what was in the Bible only.
I understand.
I think it's over 200 years after Jesus was running around in Palestine.
Sure.
So you have an organization already there that had created itself and now was doing what organizations do, which is protecting the organization. And that's why I say,
Ralph, why are people not going to church?
I think because it's a rejection of the organization. What we are taught to do these days, whether it be woke or not, is think for ourselves. And when I was growing up and when you were growing up, was that the case?
No, I mean, the world that you and I grew up in was so totally different than this world.
Precisely.
I mean, beyond that, and it's. But again, but again, where America loses itself, after, and we've been over this thousands of times, the Kennedy assassination is the beginning. Nixon, the rest of it, the Clintons, what George Bush and Dick Cheney did, what Lyndon Johnson did. I mean, we lost our way, and have we gained it back? I got to jump, Ralph, as always. 303-696-1971. Have you quit church? If so, why? 303-696-1971.